If you've been looking for a place where you can have lots of laughs and also learn a few things, then stop looking because you've come to the right place. Welcome to LOL Express, aka the best show on radio, where we'll be giving you a little bit of both entertainment and education. I'm Her Imperial Highness Dara, aka the Empress of Expression, and you can expect practically anything from me. And I mean anything, because I'm unpredictable and I've got a mouth that doesn't have a filter. So if by any chance you get offended by anything I say, I sincerely apologize. Not. As the Empress of Expression, I've got lots of ways to express myself, and the major way I do it is through my accents. I can go British, American, and Nigerian. Sometimes I even go random and I just say whatever comes out of my mouth. But today, I'm going American. And just as I'm unpredictable, so is LOL, and nothing is fixed. So don't expect anything but to be wowed by how Daralicious I am. Okay, my elites, or should I say elites in the making, let's go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get started. Welcome to the main part of the show, Topic Talk, and for the next hour, we'll be doing just that, talking about topics. The title's pretty self-explanatory, so I don't need to explain any further what we're going to be doing. Anyway, today's topic is based on the motto and vision of Exodus Radio, and that's Positive Africa. Since it's our first ever episode, I wanted to talk about something that would express who we are and what we stand for. So why not talk about how positive Africa is? But let's be honest, is Africa really positive? Let's take a quick break and then we'll talk. Welcome back. So, we're talking about positive Africa, but as I said earlier, is Africa really positive? Before we can know that, we have to first know what the meaning of positive is. And according to Google, the word positive means to be constructive, optimistic, and confident. The Longhand Dictionary defines it as to believe that you'll be successful or that your situation will have a good outcome. So in a nutshell, it just means to be or believe in the good side of something. Now Africa is the world's second largest and second most populous continent after Asia. At about 30.3 million square kilometers, it covers 6% of the world's total surface area and 20% of its total land area. With more than 50 countries, I think 54 to be exact, and over 1.3 billion inhabitants, Africa accounts for more than 16% of the world's total human population. So positive Africa basically means the good side of Africa. So now we know the meaning of positive Africa, but let's see what the reality is. So here's what not so positive things Africa is known for, and wow, first on the list is poverty. 60% of Africa is living in poverty, and so how can you say that Africa's positive when more than half of it is in poverty? Most Africans are said to live on less than $1 a day, and a lot of people are malnourished and hunger is like the order of the day. Most of Africa's countries are third world countries, and according to research, it will take about 25 years for Africa to go from third world to first world. And being a majorly third world continent, Africa is practically the charity case of the world, with America followed by China being our biggest donors. The standard of living isn't very favorable here either. Housing, water, electricity, and other social amenities aren't as easy to come by as they should be. Educational systems are whack. Homelessness and electricity are very common and very annoying in most African countries. Diseases are rampant, environments aren't clean, and unless you're able to travel overseas, you can't get quality healthcare. So practically the standard of living in Africa is setting Africa's people up for poverty. One of the major problems affecting Africa is the quality of leaders that we have. I can tell you for a fact that if our leaders do what they're supposed to do, instead of just chasing power all over the place, then Africa wouldn't be where it is now. This continent is sick with people who are greedy for more and more money. And that's why corruption and fraud are very big problems. And it's not just the leaders that are involved with this. Most Africans want to live big and live large, even if it's through crooked means. Let's go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Welcome back. Okay, so let's continue. Africans are seen as crude and savage with no form of civilization in them. To be honest, I don't really blame us because not every African is educated. And so that means we're just comfortable with our primitive ways. And not being educated is not completely our fault either because we're not fully developed. Africa is still underdeveloped, even though we have some developing countries, but we're not yet still developed. And as I said earlier, it will take about 25 years for us to be able to take the word under from that title. Technologically, we are way behind, and in terms of infrastructure, only a few are able to be called worthy of competition. Now, African economies are growing, but we're not quite there yet. Africa's GDP as at 2020 is $2.58 trillion, with a growth of 3.7% and a GDP per capita at $1,970. I don't understand fully what that means, but if you do, you should be able to determine whether that's good or bad for a continent as large as Africa. Now, another negative of Africa, and in fact the most negative if you ask me, is the fact that Africa is a giant, huge chunk of raw meat. Why do I say that? Because God has blessed us so much that we have 30% of the whole world's mineral resources, meaning the remaining 5 continents, if you take out Antarctica, have to share 70% of what's left. And still we have nothing to show for it. Look, my mouth is tired of talking about Africa's issues that have simple and clear-cut solutions that I don't think Africa's ready for. So, when we come back from the break, we'll talk about another side of Africa. The positive side, if there is one.
Exodus Radio, Positive Africa. Africa is more than the singular image of starving children with flies in their eyes. The beauty of the continent is here for you to see. Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to find out another side of Africa we do not often see. Exodus Radio, Positive Africa.
Welcome back. Africa has been seen for so many negative things: corruption, poverty, fraud, just to mention a few. But the most negative thing about this is that no one actually knows the other side of these issues. For instance, Africa is seen as uncivilized, right? But actually, we're the cradle of civilization. The Pharaoh civilization of ancient Egypt is the oldest ever recorded civilization in the world, or at least one of the oldest. So when the world was still behaving like cavemen, we were already one step ahead, building pyramids and other civilized things. Being the cradle of civilization isn't the only positive thing about Africa. As I said earlier, we have 30% of the world's natural resources, but that's not all. We have 40% of the world's gold and a whopping 75% of the world's diamonds. If that's not enough to convince you, then think of all the innovations, inventions and discoveries that have been made in Africa or by Africans. And trust me, there are lots. And it's not just about the innovations. The talent we have in Africa is too much for even Africa to handle. And even with poor education systems and little infrastructure for talent development, we still excel. And that's why you see Africans that are outside Africa always at the top. Because we can make something out of nothing. And when we get out there, we're fully equipped and we can do anything. Now, the most positive thing about Africa isn't our mineral resources or our innovations or our innovators. It's our culture, which beats all the negative and even positive things about Africa hands down. Our culture is our way of life, and the culture of Africa is one of the things I will never be ashamed about. I can proudly say that Africa is the most diverse in culture in the world. Everything about Africa's culture is different from the rest of the world, and that's what makes it special. Our music has its own genres, Afropop and Afrobeat. Our food is always delicious. Anyone who has tasted jollof rice will understand what I'm saying. Our artworks are always masterpieces, and up to 2,000 languages are spoken in Africa alone. That's 25% of the world's languages, spoken in just one continent. Our values teach respect and modesty above all things, and even our fashion, which is my favorite part of our culture, is on fleek. Each tribe has their own style, and we even have our own types of fabric. Don't you just love Africa? I know I do. So to answer the question, is Africa really positive? Well, Africa is a continent with a lot of positive things to offer, but it's all being hidden under the negative image that we Africans have created for ourselves. It is possible to bring out the positive in Africa, but deliberate action to grow and develop must be taken if we want to change the narrative. So Africans should stop endlessly criticizing leaders because it won't make them less corrupt or any better leaders. Stop thinking about your next source of help and start thinking about how you can be the ones helping. Let's make ourselves assets to the world instead of liabilities that can be pushed around. Let's set aside our pride and have confidence in who we are, what we have, and what we can do. And for God's sake, will someone tell our government to stop borrowing? Not only are you playing with bankruptcy, but you're selling off our dignity and honor with every dollar you borrow and misuse. The answer is yes. Africa really is positive. We might have lots of negativity, but what part of the world doesn't? Even the Bible says that each land has its own good and bad, and Africa is no exception. You won't just throw away a basket because you have a few bad eggs, but instead you just take them out. So just because some of our leaders and some of our people are giving us a bad name, then that doesn't mean we're all bad. It just means we need to work on being better. Africa can be way more positive than it is now, but it starts with you. No matter what your age or social status is, you're an ambassador for Africa, meaning her reputation lies on your shoulders. So do you want to be known as a positive African or a negative African? It's up to you. Rep Africa positively, and if you like titles like me, you can call yourself an AOP for Africa, an ambassador of positivity for a positive Africa. So let's take an update just came in, which is great timing because I'm done talking. But I need a break, so I'll give you an update after that, and then it will be your turn to talk. Okay, welcome back. So now I'll be taking your thoughts and opinions on what I've just talked about. That was just my insight and opinion on Positive Africa. So now I'll be taking yours. You can call or send a message to the numbers 070 65 255 21. I repeat, 070 65 255 21. You can also comment on our social media handles at Exodus Radio on Facebook and at Exodus Radio _ on Twitter and Instagram. I'll open the lines in just a minute, but first let's go over some ground rules. 1. When you call, turn off or turn down your radio. 2. Once I say hello, just give me your name and location. And by location, I mean your area, not your complete address. 3. No swearing, and that goes for me too. 4. Don't help any brand to advertise by mentioning them. And 5. Don't waste any time. Just get straight to the point with whatever you want to say, because there's no time to waste time. These are the 5 rules for calling in, and any violation will result in the end of our call. Don't say I didn't warn you. The lines are opening in 3, 2, 1, opened!
I am proud to be a Nigerian. Blessed be thy name, O Lord. I am proud to be a Nigerian.
Okay, that was the last call. An update just dropped in. And I was really enjoying our convo. Anyway, that's all we have for today on Topic Talk. After the update, we'll take a quick break and then we'll see what next I have in store for you. You see, we've always got something for you here on LOL Express. There's never a dull moment with us. And I mean, that's why it's called LOL, right? Oh yeah, before I forgot the update. I just hope it's really juicy. Well, I don't think any more chit-chat is necessary. Let's take a break. BRB.